So our next section is the server and hubs. Then we look at the projects and also the admin section of the coding. So I hope most of us have installed the Visual Studio 2022 Community Edition or Enterprise Edition, depending what access you have to. So both can be used. So let's proceed. So we are going to create our local server. So what our server is going to have is we are going to have the models. We are going to have controllers. Then we'll have the static files. That's the HTML, JS, and CSS. With our models and controllers, we'll request information from the Autodesk Platform Services in the cloud. Of course, we're going to start with getting an access token. Then using the access token, we'll get our hubs. Then we'll get our projects. Once we have the response, we are going to render the response via the HTML into our web page so that we can be able to display the same. So understand some of you have not completed downloading. So I think we'll just go on. You can follow. Then later at your own free time, you can be able to do this. So for the sake of time and those of us who already have completed the installation, we'll proceed. For those of us who have not completed, you can just follow along. Then you can do this at your own free time, or if you are able to complete it faster, then we can also go along. So what we are going to do in this section, we are going to create a router for authentication. Authentication is to get the access token. Then we are going to create a router for also getting the hubs and projects, and also going now to try out the admin endpoints. So I shared the tutorials page earlier in the presentation. So let's use that tutorials page so that we can proceed together. So let's see. So for those of us who don't have it, I will reshare it again. Sorry. Yep. So let me share the link on chat so that you can follow along. Okay. So the link I've shared is the tutorial that we are going to use for today's tutorial. So let's begin with the application setup. So since we are using .NET and the Visual Studio 2022, let's select that option. And the first step is to launch Visual Studio 2022 and create a project. So let's launch it. Sizing. So we create a new project. So click here. So once we have this new project, so we are going to use the ASP.NET Core Empty template. So you can search it here, ASP.NET Core Empty. So once you search it, you should see the C# variant, not the F#. So we use the C#. The first one, select that. We go to the next page. So we go back to our tutorial page. So we are going to name it my APS app. So let's go back and name it my APS app. So once we have given it the name, we go next. So in the next section, we are going to use the .NET 8. That's the long-term support. Then we are not going to configure for HTTPS, so we are going to uncheck this. We are also going to uncheck the option for do not use top level statements, then we create. So let's go back. So we uncheck this since we are not configuring for HTTPS. Also, this should be unchecked. Once we have all that unchecked, also we are not going to enable container support, that's Docker, so we are not going to use that. So once we have disabled or unchecked all those, we create our project. So it should take a few seconds. Yes, after a few seconds, we should be able to now see our project. So this is the blank project. So we have not added anything yet. So this is what you should be able to see after you have created our first project. So let's now start building the same. So first thing we'll do is that we install the packages that we are going to use. So the first package we are going to use is the SDK manager. So we are not necessarily going to use the versions defined here. So I think for today, we'll use the latest versions. That will include the pre-release version so that we can get the most out of our packages. So to download or to install the packages, we come to our project, right click on the project. Then we have the manage Nugget packages section. So click that. So it should be able to load this window. So we don't have anything installed. We'll browse. So the first thing we do is we look for the SDK manager. So for us to get the latest beta version, so we are going to check this option. This is the include pre-release. So let's check on that. Then click here. Then we have, it doesn't have a beta version. So the latest stable version is 1.12. So we install that. We apply. So we have finished installing the first package. We go to the next package, that's the authentication. So select, paste, we are searching, then we should be able to find also, we have the latest version, and that's 2.0.1. So install, apply. So our next package is the account admin. So let's install that package also. Go back, clear this search bar, paste the account admin. So the latest release is the 3.10 beta 2. So we install that one, apply. Next, we install our data management package. So let's copy that. Let's paste that. Then we have the account Autodesk data management. And the latest is 2.1.2. So we also install that. Finally, we install the Newton JSON, Newtonsoft JSON. Paste that. So for this one, I think we'll use the version 8 because version 9 targets .NET 9. So let's use version 8.0.21. That's the Newtonsoft JSON. We are not going to use version 10 or 9, just use the latest version of latest version. That's for .NET 8. That's 8.0.21. So let's install that. Okay, now we have all our packages installed. I hope everybody also has all the packages installed. So once we have that, so we can confirm that we have all of them installed. By again, right-clicking on our project, going to the Manage Nugget Packages section. Then we click on the Install section. Then we have all the five packages installed. So once we have all those 5 installed, we proceed now with our tutorial. So we are going to create subfolders in our project. So the first subfolder will be the www root. So this is going where we are going to create our assets. That's our static files. That's the HTML, CSS, JavaScript, images, etc. Then we'll create a controllers folder where we'll implement our endpoints. Then finally, we're also going to create our model subfolder where we are going to implement our logic that is going to be shared by different endpoints. So let's create the subfolders. So the first subfolder will be the www root. So right click on the project, scroll to add, then new folder. So the new folder will be www root. The next folder will be the controllers folder. So add a new folder, controllers. And then the final subfolder will be the models. So we have our 3 subfolders. So we proceed. Now we are going to create our first file. That's our first, that's the startup. So we can copy the name or just type it. So right click on the project, add new class, or you can use new item. It's still okay. Startup.cs. So all these, the content initialized here, we don't need it. So we clear the same. We go back here, we copy the contents here, we paste. So basically the code here, we are going to get our client ID from the app settings. We'll set that. Then we are going to get also the client secret. Then we are going to get our callback URL and also the server session secret. So we'll check all these if they exist. If they don't exist, we'll throw an error to indicate that the client ID or secret or callback URL or the session secret, they are missing. So we have the configure method that is called during runtime. So it ensures that we use the static file. So as mentioned, the static files, we are going to place them in the www root folder. And also we are going to use our endpoints, which we'll create in the controller section later. So we proceed. So we are going to implement this in our app settings .json. So we can use either that or the development version. So, but let's use the development version for today's purpose. So how do we find it? So we come here on the app settings.json section, expand it, then you should be able to see the app settings.development.json. So the naming conforms to the standards. So this file will be used in development mode. And if you want to add multiple app settings version, you can rename them, or you can add different app settings files. Then they will be used based on the environment you are currently running. So since we are currently on development, so we'll use the app settings.development.json. So we delete the contents here. we paste our new content. So as you can see, we'll need our client ID. We'll need our client secret. We also need to set the callback URL, and also we need the server session secret. So the first thing we'll do is the client ID. So we all created our app in the first session. So we'll go to where we created our app. On my end, I will create I'll open my application. So everybody should be having their own client ID and client secret. So please do not use what I'm pasting here, because I'm going to delete the same once we finish this session. So kindly use your own client ID and client secret so that you are able to test once even we complete this session. So we'll have it there. Next, we'll copy the client secret. I also have it here. Then I will get this callback URL that we have here. So that's the localhost port 8080 API auth callback. We'll come here to our application app section, scroll down to the general settings section. We have the callback URL. So we'll add another one. So I'll paste the same here. Then once I've done that, I'll save my changes. Yes, so my changes have been saved. That means now once we initiate our authentication, our callback will be listening. So we go back. So I'm done with this section. We proceed. So we create a basic server. So let's copy these contents for program.cs. We come back to our application. We clear what we already have. So delete everything. Once we delete everything, we paste the new content we have from our tutorials page. Then we save the file. Then next, now we are going to change. Since once we created a new project, it was created with a default port, which is different from each and every one of us. So what we can copy this specific URL, but I prefer to copy the whole of it. So we'll copy the content. Then since we are replacing the content on log settings.json, so it's under the properties. So the properties folder is in our project. So once you expand it, you should be able to see the launch settings.json. So click on it. It will open. Since I'm replacing everything, I will delete the current content, remove. Then I'll paste the new content. Then I will save. You'll notice that since the profiles we have my apps, it has also changed at the top. So once you also save on your end, you should also be able to see the change at the top. And then the next, now we'll try it out. So let's go back. So on my apps app, we can click on that to start debugging our application. It should be able to build and open. So since we have not implemented any logic or any page yet, we should be able to see HTTP error 404. So I'll just give a few seconds and see if everybody is able to get HTTP 404. For those who are able to get, you can give a thumbs up. For those who still have an issue, kindly utilize the chat section or the Q&A section. So if you are able to get a 404, you can give the thumbs up. Yeah, okay. So okay, I see you are getting missing required environment variables. So as mentioned before, if you are getting that error, that means you did not set uh, your credentials in the app settings development.json. So you need to come back and set them. So if you are facing that issue, you need to go back and set your credentials. So you need the APS client ID, APS client secret. You need to implement the callback URL and also the server session secret. For now, you can ignore the server session secret since we are only in development mode, but later you'll implement the same. So yes, missing required environment variables, that's what it means. This is the step that you have skipped. So if you have encountered an issue, feel free to ask a question. And I see a few have sent reactions that they are able to get the 404, which is what we anticipated or what we expected to get. So we'll proceed. So we'll have now the authentication part. So we are starting to implement our logic. So the first thing we'll do is we create a file called aps.cs and models. So we go back to our application. Under models, we can add a new class or item. So it's aps in caps.cs. Once we do that, we clear the initialized content, go back to our tutorials page. We copy the contents in this section. We paste the same here. We save the file. So the basics of the file that we have copied is that they are going to get the credentials. That's what we have, the initial part that we are doing here. So we are getting the client ID, the client secret. Next, we create the aps.auth.cs. So let's create that. So add new class aps.auth.cs. So we clear the contents in this file. We go back here. We copy this content. We paste it here. We save. So now this will handle the authentication logic. So you can be able to see that we are able to now generate the token. We can generate the refresh token, and also we can get the user profile. That's the logged in user profile. Then next, we'll edit our startup. We had already created the initial startup file. So we are going to edit our startup file to include this. We are going to initialize the APS with the client ID that we are going to read from our configuration file. So let's copy this line. And for those who prefer to copy the whole file, you can just copy the whole file and replace with whatever we had done earlier. So we just use the line, we paste it below. So this will now pass the client ID, client secret, and callback URL to the APS class this class we created early, so that now we can be able to access our credentials. So let's proceed. So the next, we are going to create our first controller. So it's called our auth controller. So we go to our controllers subfolder. We add a new item or class. Since we are going to clear the contents, it doesn't matter. So auth controller.cs, we clear everything. we come back, we copy the contents of this file, paste it here. So what is this file doing? So we are going to prepare prepare the token. So we are going to initially check if our access token is in the cookies. Then if we don't have that, we return null. Otherwise, we are going to return the token. That's the access token, fresh token, and the expiry. So the next endpoint is for login. So it's going to give us the URL for login so that we can, that's the URL for login normally has the code. So that we can use it to get the access token and refresh token and expiry. We have the logout where we delete the session, the current session. We have the callback. These where Autodesk will redirect back to so that we can get the credentials. Then finally, we have the profile. This is the current logged in user profile details. So for example, for today, since each and every one of us is going to log in, we are going to get our details. So let's proceed. So after implementing that, I think we'll just try it out. So we are going to try to log in, but since we have not implemented any logic after login, it's going to give us a 404. So let's try that. Let's debug. So this is okay. So we go to API, auth, login. So it's going to, yes, to enter the sign-in page, but since I already have an active session, it did not prompt me to input my email. But if you don't have, if you are not logged in before, you should be able to see a section where you'll put your email, password, and maybe no TP before you are again redirected back to localhost 8080 for 4. So to inspect, to check if everything worked as we wanted. So we can just go to we can open the developer tools. So you can you can click on this section at the top right. That's the menu section with the 3 dots. Come to more tools. Then you should be able to see the developer tools as the last option. Then it will open this screen. So depending on your location, it may be on the right, it might be at the bottom. Then we come to the storage section of the application. So click on the application, come to the storage section. Then you'll see the cookies section. Then you'll see the URL that we are on. That's the localhost port 8080. And we should have the 3 values. That's the access token, the expiry, and the refresh token. So that will mean that once you have the 3, you should be good to go. That means that it was a success. So I see, Jacob, you say you did not skip the step. Maybe there is a spelling mistake somewhere. Kindly check. Or you can also add a breakpoint and see in your startup class, because the error is on this line. So you can add a breakpoint here and inspect the 3 once you start your application. So for example, if I stop this and start again, I should be able to see what's missing. So for example, I can see I have my client ID, I have my client secret, I have my callback, and I have my server session. So that means everything is set and it will proceed. But if one of the four is missing, you will see that error. So kindly try add a breakpoint here and just hover on this and see which one is null. So for those who are able to log in, you can just uh, maybe share a thumbs up or just reactions. And if you are stuck somewhere, maybe you can also say where you are stuck so that we can try and debug. So no questions, that means majority. I can see from the reactions, majority are able to get the access token, the refresh token, and also the expiry. So we'll proceed. So our next section is project browsing. So we are going to implement the logic for the hubs. So let's start with the first is create the file. That's aps.hubs.cs. So so Danilo, if it says page not found, that's okay. That's expected. We have not yet implemented the logic after login. That's what we are doing next. So if you found the 404, that's okay. So let's proceed with the now implementing the logic. We should be able now to see at least the content. So let's create our first file. So we'll create aps.helps.cs under the models. So let's go back here, add a new class, call it aps.hubs.cs. We clear the contents. So copy, paste. So this is just the logic to get the hubs and also get the projects. So the next portion is going to now the controllers. That's our endpoints. So we'll have our hubs controller created in our controller subfolder. So let's add that is complicated. So let's just add this hubs controller. So on hubs controller, let's just copy the content here, clear what we have here and paste. So what this is doing is that it's going to list our hubs. That's the response will be in JSON format. Then we are going to use the hub ID then to list the projects. So the hubs that we are going to list here, or the hub that we are going to list is based on the custom integration we did. So after we have done that, so we'll try it out. So let's start. We'll try to log in again. That's API, or then log in. Okay, we already have an existing session. So let's now try the API apps. Yes, so you can see my hubs listed, although not formatted, but you can see. I think this is just one hub. So I have the name listed here. This is where I did my custom integration. So we have it listed. And the next endpoint we'll try is we can use the hub ID to get the projects. So for those who want to try, we can try that. But I think we'll see more of that in the next section. So let's go to the next section. But for those who are willing to try that, you can try it out. So the next section, we'll dive more into the projects and the users. So let's create another model. That's the aps.admin.cs. So let's stop this. So let's add a new, no, not controllers. So models. Sorry. So it's aps.admin.cs. Let's clear this content. Let's copy this and we paste it here. So we save. So what this does is that we are going to get the projects using the account ID, and also this is just the access token. And also, I think this has pagination. The next one, we are going to get the specific project using the project ID. Then here we are going to get the project users using the project ID. The next endpoint or the next sub line, we are going to create a project, of course, in the account, in the specific account or hub. Then we can add the project admin. Then we look at the importation later. So for now, let's just skip it, proceed. So let's add the endpoints. That's our server endpoint. So let's add the admin controller. So in controllers, add. So admin controller .cs. We clear the contents in this. So copy everything in here, paste it, and save. So what does this do? So we are going to list our projects. Then we are going to get the specific project details. Next, we'll get the users. These are all the endpoints. Next, we'll create the project, an endpoint to create the project. This is to create a project user, and we are done with the controller. So we proceed. So the next section will be to try it out so that we get the projects and the users. So let's start. So we come back here, we click again, we click my APS app. The first thing we do is just check if our session is still on. Next, we get our hubs. So we'll take the ID. You can use a JSON formatter add-on, or you can use Chrome. I think Chrome does have one. inbuilt so that your data can be formatted properly. But for now, let's continue. So we can get the projects in this. So we do localhost. So we do admin. Now let's first of all get the hubs. Sorry. Yes. So we did check this project ID, the hub ID or the account ID with the B. That is the prefix B dot. Then we go to localhost port 8080 API forward slash hubs. Then we paste the hub ID, then forward slash projects. We should be able to see all the projects in that hub. So, okay. So we can use any of the projects to simulate getting the users. So for example, we can use the test project. So if you're not seeing any content here, what you can do is that you can create a sample project by going to acc.autodesk.com or the URL to your hub or account. So for example, I can create a sample project. So this is required. Just say it's some hotel. The others are not required. We create that. So once synchronized, you should be able to see. Not yet synchronized. Yes, it's created. It's here. So we have the ID of the project here. So we go back. So we can also get the user. So you go into this URL. So we can replace this. So our project ID is this. Yes, so based on the ID of this project, we don't need the prefix, that's the B dot. So we take the ID, the rest of the ID, copy the same. We come to our local host URL, that's the localhost port 8080 API /admin /project, getting the users, and the query string is project ID. We paste the ID and it should give us the details. So I hope it works for everybody. Everybody is able to get at least one project if it exists in their account. Of course, the account we are talking about is the account that you did your custom integration. So maybe if you have a question or by a show of reactions, if you are able to get to that point, kindly share. If you are not, also feel free to ask questions before we proceed to the next section. So we have completed all our steps.